Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on my channel. Tiana here, of course. For today's video, as you saw in the title, I'm going to be trying out some new products today. One of them that I'm kind of excited to try out today is the Morphe Filter Effect Soft Focus Foundation. I saw that Makeup Shayla on YouTube is the face and the ambassador of this foundation, and it just really looks so flawless on her skin. So I really want to try it out. You guys know I don't really try out a whole lot of Morphe on my channel, so this should be interesting. I also got a few other products that I'm going to be trying out today as well, so it's going to be kind of like a full face of new makeup minus like a powder and a couple of other things. So if you guys want to see what I'm going to be putting on my face today, then stay tuned. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start off by priming the face today. And I saw these at Target, I believe, and then I saw them again at Ulta, so I just decided to pick them up. This is the Milani No Pore Zone Mattifying Primer. So this is supposed to be the exact same formula as the previous one. If you guys remember the smaller one, I'll pop up a picture, but the smaller one, it was like shorter. I always used it. It was called the Prime Shield. Loved that primer, and it was very similar to the Smashbox, which is why I loved it, because it was only like $8. Really great price. I did notice that they had about 4 different formulas, so I might get some of the others. I'm gonna put just a tad bit more on my forehead area. So yeah, it does definitely feel like it's the same formula. Yeah, I definitely like the way this feels. It gives like a nice blurring effect, and it just feels very like smoothing, very smoothing. Feels thicker too for some reason. I don't know if that's just the packaging, like maybe just it being in a tube, but it definitely feels a little thicker. All right, so now we're gonna move on to the foundation. So I got the shade Filter Rich 32, and I was a little skeptical because, of course, as you guys know, we in a panoramic, so we cannot swatch shades as we've all been accustomed to. You go to Sephora and Ulta, you just used to swatching shades so you can see, but of course we cannot do that. So I just went off of what I saw. Obviously, looking at the box, it definitely looks darker, but I have pulled this out and swatched it, and it's not as dark as the box. So you may have to like look online, look at the boxes when you go in the store, and just kind of guess. But the good thing about it is Ulta does take returns, so if you swatch it as soon as you leave the store, you can just go back in and return it if it's not the right shade. This long-wearing oil-free natural finish foundation hydrates skin and blurs imperfections for the ultimate soft focused look. And it has hyaluronic acid, vitamin E, and glycerin in it, and it says it's a medium to full coverage foundation. So I'm really excited to try this out. I'm going to give it a shake, even though it doesn't say to shake it up. Usually they do, but it doesn't say to shake it. And as I was saying in the intro, you guys know I don't really try out. I'm going to be using a brush today, by the way, to apply this. But as I was saying, you guys know I don't try out Morphe products very often. Not even gonna lie, like some of their eyeshadows just don't really impress me. The only eyeshadow palette that I really loved from Morphe was the first Jaclyn Hill palette, I believe. The bigger one. I don't know, that one was really good. So I'm gonna just squeeze it out onto my face. My face is like 2 different shades. I'm like lighter on my forehead and right under my eye area, and then darker on the lower half of my face. So that's why it's really hard to kind of get a foundation that matches my entire face. So I just kind of go with it. So far so good. No weird smells. You can't help but smell a foundation when you're applying it on your face. So no weird smells, which is a good thing. So definitely noticing it is a more medium coverage right off the bat instead of like full coverage. So definitely a different impression than the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. If you guys haven't seen that video, I did a first impressions video. I will have it linked in the cards and in the description box if you guys want to check that out. Noticing a bit of a glow, which I know it doesn't claim to be matte, so expecting that. I believe it claims that it can be builded, so I'm going to apply just a tad bit more right here because I'm noticing it's not as full coverage as I would like it to be. So I'm gonna just apply just a tad bit more in this area here. But as you guys can see, the color is not that bad. Like, It's a little orange like in person, but overall it's really not that bad. When it comes to some of my most recent foundation picks, I've been getting kind of lucky. Okay, so I'm done applying the foundation. As you saw, I just applied like that first layer all over, and then I applied a little bit more right in here. I am noticing a little bit of texture right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. The camera is not that far away from me, but it is kind of far. So I'm not exactly sure if you guys can see that or not, but I am noticing just a little bit of texture in here. So nothing major though. Color is decent. Definitely not like super full coverage, but it says you can keep building it up. So I guess if you want even more coverage, you could keep building it if you want. Yeah, I mean, how are we liking it so far? I'm not blown away, if that makes sense. Like, it's not like the e.l.f. I was completely shooketh, because it was supposed to be a CC cream and it turned into a full-on foundation. But this, I mean, it does say it's supposed to be like filter effect, medium to full coverage. I don't know if it's just my skin, but I'm not getting the whole filter effect. I try to be genuine with you guys and honest. So I did attempt to film this video before, and so I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, that I felt like I was being very negative Nancy in that video, because I just wasn't getting like the whole filter effects and everything, and I really wanted to like give it another try. But now this is the second time and I'm still seeing like texture in here. Everywhere else it looks really good, and it could just be because it's more of like a natural finish foundation, and it could be also that it's more medium coverage instead of full coverage. But yeah, okay, so I have applied my brows now, and I have a new product that I want to try out to set my brows. This is the Anastasia Brow Freeze Brow Styling Wax, and I have never tried like a styling wax before on my brows. Like, I've used a brow gel, but I haven't been consistent with using it, so I can't even really say like I'm an avid brow gel user. Like, I like it, but I don't always use it. So this reminds me so much of an edge control. This is the product. So it's just a really clear product. It really reminds me of an edge control. So it came with a brush as well. This is the brush 12. It's the dual-ended firm angled brush by Anastasia. So I needed a new brush, so I'm actually really excited about this. Probably more excited about the brush than the product. Bully it in, just like rubbing it or rolling it in there. It has a very cooling sensation. It literally feels like edge control, how you apply edge control to your edges. It feels like that very cooling stuck sensation. So yeah, like, it feels good. It's not very sticky to the touch. Like, you would think it's kind of sticky, but it's not really sticky. And I like the fact that it doesn't have a smell, so that's good too. Okay, so I picked up the e.l.f. Flawless Brightening Concealer from Ulta as well, and I noticed that this was new. It's a concealer pen. It's Tan 41W, and as you can see, this is very brightening. This is going to be really brightening on my skin. So I'm obviously going to pair it with a darker concealer, kind of like to act as a base up underneath it. Alright, so my darker concealer of choice today is the Cover FX Power Play Concealer, and this is in the shade G Deep 3. I'm going to just put a little bit of this underneath my eyes. As you can see, it's very similar to my under eye area. Probably more like one shade lighter instead of 2 shades lighter. Then we're going to go in with this, and this is a click one, so you just click it until the product comes out. And I'm just going to put a little bit on top of that Power Play concealer. If you have like a brush, I guess that probably would work a little bit better, so you're not mixing products, like mixing it on the pen, that is. So I'm just going to go ahead and blend it underneath my eye. Oh yeah, this definitely looks like the perfect shade. Yeah, I really like that. And it didn't take away from the brightening aspects of the pen. Like, I can definitely tell the brightening of the pen is still in there. Like, that's still a pretty bright under eye for me, because usually I would just use the Cover FX Power Play like on a daily basis, and that would be it. Like, I just like coverage more so over brightening. So I'm also kind of just bringing whatever's left on the tip of the sponge onto my eyelids to just kind of act as a little bit of a primer and a brightening for them as well. So now we're going to go ahead and set the under eyes. I don't have any new setting powders today, so I'm going to just use my Beauty Bakery Better Not Bitter setting powder. Love this stuff. So while that's kind of setting, I'm going to go ahead and move on to my new eyeshadow palette that I got. I get really excited for eyeshadow palettes, but I have so many that I don't need anymore. But I keep getting them. Like, I keep getting them. So I noticed this new ColourPop collection a couple months ago, and it is the Ornate collection. Love the packaging. It has like this kind of raised packaging design. It feels really good, and it comes with 9 shadows. ColourPop never disappoints. As you guys can see, these shades, like, I am in love with these shades. Like, these are so pretty, and it's like the perfect palette if you just want like a warm, just simple go-to warm palette. Okay guys, so I am back, and as you can see, I went in full dark smoky eye. Okay, so I usually don't do a dark smoky eye, but this color here, Dream, was really calling my name, so I decided to do that today, and I'm really liking how it turned out. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do that on the other side, on my other eye, and I'm gonna tell you guys what I'm using as I'm going through it, but I'm probably gonna speed through it again to just kind of save time. So I'm starting off blending Tipsy, this shade right here, and I'm going to be going in and blending that into the outer V area of my eye. I did notice that these shadows do have a lot of kickback. Like when you dip your brush in there and pick it up, there tends to be a lot of product that comes back, but I'm not mad at it because, again, ColourPop products are really good, and they tend to just go on like really pigmented. Like, you don't need a whole lot of product at all. So now I'm going in with Dream here, and I started out applying it with my Sigma E25 brush, but towards the end I'm gonna use my finger because the reflex, or the little glitter shimmer particles, don't come across when you are applying it with the brush. So as you can see, like, it just looks like a black color. So I noticed that the brush, I think, kind of takes away those particles. So when I went back in with my finger, that's when it started really putting the reflex back on. But it just kind of goes on a lot quicker when you're using a brush to pack everything on. You can just spread it out a lot quicker than with your finger. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with my ring finger. And like immediately as I start applying it, you can immediately start seeing the gold reflex just start popping onto the lid a lot better. Alright, so now that we kind of have that together, I go back in with the blending brush now, and I take a little bit more of Tipsy, tapping it off quite a bit, and I start to kind of bring it in a little bit more, because if you notice, we're kind of bringing it over a little bit more so that the black is not like all the way up there at the top. So I start bringing in Tipsy just a little bit closer to the corner of my eye. Then I go back in with my finger and I apply just a tad bit more of Dream. And then I went in with my LA Girl, I don't know exactly the name of this, but it's very black eyeliner. I don't use eyeliner a whole lot anymore, but when I'm doing a very like dramatic look, or I just want a little bit more darkness and depth on my bottom lash line, I will go in with a black eyeliner, and this one is really good. Like, it's held up for a long time. Don't even need to sharpen it very often. It's just so good. It's so smooth and creamy. I'm gonna go ahead and apply lashes. You guys know sometimes they go great, sometimes they don't. So I just like to really get close to the mirror and apply them off camera. Okay, so to blend and put some mascara on my lower lash line, I'm using the Maybelline The Falsies Lash Lift Mascara. I've really been trying to get my hands on the new Lash Sensational Maybelline. I had the old one in the like wider packaging, but now they have one in the skinnier packaging and everybody's been talking about it. I've been seeing a lot on Instagram and TikTok, of course, and I like every time I go it's sold out. So I'm like, I guess everybody is trying out this mascara. This is the Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder Palette, but this is what it looks like. These are very big. They're like 4 kind of large square pan, oh, I don't want to blind you guys, square pan powders, but as you can see they're not the darkest, and this was the darkest shade. This is Better Than Vacation Tan number 10. So I'm not going to do obviously a whole lot of bronzing and warming up of the skin today, so I'm just going to go into the darkest shade here, and I'm just going to put this where I normally do. I feel like I use this more when I use maybe a too light foundation and I need something that's not too contour like, too dark brown. I just need something to kind of like bring back some warmth. I think this color and this palette for my skin tone works great, but I do definitely like the overall look that this product gives me just after really applying it. I do have to apply quite a bit to give me like this nice overall bronzy. I don't think I'm gonna apply any highlighter today. I'm just not really feeling it. I'm kind of just going with the natural glow from the foundation and the complexion products, so I'm just kind of leave that alone today. I did get some new lip liners. I got this NYX shade in Brooklyn Thorn, and I think I'm gonna use this today. And I also got the NYX Suede lip pencil in, I think it's just brown. Oh, it's Cold Brew. And this one's like more of a brown, and you guys probably won't be able to see this, but Cold Brew that has the plastic still on it at the tip is more of like a brown, and then Brooklyn Thorn is more of kind of like a burgundy brownish color, if it's focusing. My main lip product today is going to be this new Milani Ludicrous lip gloss, and it is in the shade 210 So Fly. And I absolutely love this. It's kind of like the perfect mix between like burgundy and like mauve browns. So I don't know if this is gonna be, I might have to switch this out because it might be a little bit too dramatic for this look because I already have dramatic eyes. So yeah, I'll do both and leave it up to you guys to tell me which one you like. But this is my new lip product. Now this is thick. This is really thick. This is probably the thickest lip gloss that I have applied in a while. I don't know, I don't really like the color on my lips with the dark eyes, so I'm going to take this off and I'm just going to apply one of my Maybelline Lifter glosses, and then you guys can let me know down in the comment section below which one you like better. Am I the only one that when I'm applying lip liner, my lips get so dry and chapped? I'm coming lips with the gloss. So this is Topaz Lifter Gloss. These are bomb. Couldn't recommend them more than I've already talked about them so much. They're so good. So this is more of like a nude lip. Probably what I would probably go for. So to end it off, I'm going to be using a setting spray today. Is it loud? This setting spray is the Milani Make It Last Matte Finish Setting Spray, and I've used this before in the travel size, and so I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and buy the full size of this. So it's technically not new, but it's new in this size to me. Okay guys, so this is the finished makeup look. Just kind of a roundup of all of my thoughts on all of the products that I tried today. So for the foundation, I put it back in the box because I'm not impressed. But for the foundation, this is the Morphe Filter Effect foundation that I applied today, and it's okay. Like, I'm not blown away by it. I feel like I've tried better ones. I have a list of all of my foundation videos that I've recently done, like reviews and demos, because I know this wasn't a review and demo of this particular foundation today, but I feel like I've tried some better ones. I feel like it went on well. The color ended up working out really well. The coverage is definitely more on the medium side. I didn't see any cakiness or anything wrong when I did build it up a little bit more underneath my cheek area, but I just feel like it really like showed texture, and I didn't really get like a very soft focus filter effect that it claimed to give. So not really totally wowed by this. I feel like it could just be any other foundation to me, so I'll leave that up to you, but that's just my opinion on how it wears on my skin. So moving on to the Flawless Concealer Pen by e.l.f. I think this really did do really well when I mixed it with the Cover FX Power Play Concealer. So I'm gonna have to mix it with some of my other concealers and just see how it works. I love the e.l.f. Camo concealers as it is, so this one did not disappoint either. For the Anastasia Brow Freeze Brow Styling Wax, as I said when I was doing the first impressions of it, I will have to give this some more time. Right now my brows look in place, but they usually tend to look in place still after about 30-ish minutes. It usually takes hours and hours for my brows to kind of look a little like like droopy throughout the day. So I don't know how this is going to work. I will keep you guys posted probably in my favorites video that will be coming up very soon about how this wears, because I plan on wearing it every day for the next few days to just try it out, and especially like days when I go into the office where I know it's going to be an 8-hour day. So I definitely want to try it out on those days, and I'll have a better, more, I guess, all around update in my favorites video. But so far so good. The Ornate palette by ColourPop, amazing. I was able to do a dark smoky eye just with this palette. I didn't have to use anything else, and I only used, well for the eye and the blending, I only used 2 shades, Tipsy and Dream, and then in my inner corner I used Boheme or Boheme. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that. I don't think I said that earlier, so that's what I used. I only had to use 3 shadows, and this palette is only 9 shadows, so you can definitely get a full eye look out of this small palette. You don't have to use something big in order to get something like this. I love that Dream had the reflects in it. It's just a different type of black that you would normally see in a small palette like this. You're usually just going to see like all solid shadows, but I like that they switched it up and did something a little different. So ColourPop, as I said, never disappoints with their eyeshadows, so this did not disappoint. Definitely recommend this palette. They're always very affordable, and I usually get my stuff at Ulta. The Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder Palette, I pretty much said everything I feel about this palette while I was applying the product, but as I was saying, that it does give me a really nice bronze look, but I do have to apply quite a bit, and I would not use this for like an everyday bronzer contour product because it's just not dark enough for me. But I can use some of the other shades as well to do like maybe just a simple setting my under eyes if I don't want to bake that day, or use a loose powder. So it does have multiple uses. It does come with a mirror, which is really nice for on the go, because most of the time when I'm traveling, sometimes I don't bring like a big mirror with me, so I just try to bring like a palette that has a mirror in it. So this could be good for that. But these products are very affordable, and I'm not disappointed that I tried out a different bronzing palette. I just wish it had a little bit darker shades in it to become a new favorite. I tried out the Milani Ludicrous lip gloss. So I absolutely love this shade. This shade again is So Fly, so I definitely recommend these glosses. They're just really thick, so be prepared for that. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, because I always try to find new products, but it just takes me some time. So if you guys want to see more of these videos, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up, so that way I can just start rounding up some new products again, so I can sit down and do another one of these videos for you sooner rather than later. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Everything will be linked down in the description box below as always, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section. I will see you guys in my next video.